Today we're going to demo the Airport Dynamic Analysis tool by McFarland Johnson. This is just the dashboard. Goes through and lets you know which of the applications are online. So Logan, Erie, Scranton, Greenville, Spartanburg online, and a few of these other ones are offline right now. So we're going to go into Scranton. It's the home screen that the airport would see. Just put your credentials in here. Everybody has different access levels, so planners, financial operations, as well as administrative. Go ahead and sign you in. So this is the first screen that you see here. So this would be the airport's dashboard. It identifies that it's identified me as an administrator here on the top. So across the top, you'll see here input, forecast, financial, facility requirements, output, which is totally customizable, and the airport layout plan. So basically the master plan components. So I'll try to run through this fairly quickly here. But on the inputs slide here, you're going to see scenario inputs. So these are things that would be likely to occur at your airport, or somewhat likely to occur. For this airport, certainly an increase in low-cost service. So we'll show that as occurring. We'll show an increase in the international traffic here, occurring the following year. And then on the user defined, so these are things that couldn't have been anticipated perhaps, but something that you want to look at. So let's say in 2021, perhaps Spirit follows Allegiant to this operation with the certainly high load factors typical of that airline. Maybe start just 3 times a week. We'll also look at some edits here on based aircraft. Perhaps you have a corporate fleet that moves to the airport in 2022. So we'll identify 3 jets there. And over on this side, kind of some other inputs. We'll look at PFCs. We're so fortunate to have those go up next year. And what we'll do here then is go ahead and run that, both the scenarios and the user inputs. We'll take a look at the changes that occur. So on the forecasting side, we'll see on enplanements changes that occur here. Obviously, in your international service based on the changes that we made, which didn't exist before. And then on the enplanement side here, ever increasing number of enplanements, and those things kind of take a jump whenever something occurs in our assumptions. Operations change a bit. When we look at based aircraft, we now see that jet category jump up when the corporate flight department moves over. On our financials, it'll run through and analyze the revenues and expenses from these various scenarios and give you kind of a bottom line number here of what that's going to mean to you. On your facility requirements, it'll run through both the airfield elements as well as the landside and terminal elements, so additional facilities for fuel storage, for example. And on the terminal, as you can imagine, there'll definitely be some areas that you need some terminal space, as well as a pretty significant amount of auto parking down here on the bottom. So we take a look at the output. So when we look at output, this is totally customizable, whatever it is that may be important to you. But for this airport, they wanted to look at expenses over revenue, as well as cost per enplanement was very important to them, and being able to go to the airlines and sell that service was meaningful in the cost per enplanement changes at the airport. So there's just pie charts here, but all of this is totally customizable. And then the airport layout plan. So the program will draw actually your airport layout plan, any changes that might occur to runway, safety areas, object-free areas, etc., as well as the facilities themselves that are required. At this level, it's not as clear as you'd see it outside of the demo mode, but for the purposes of putting this out on the web, etc., it's a little dumbed down, if you will. But you do see improvements here in the terminal facilities, parking. This is actually an additional garage area over here, some improvements in the taxiway system, etc. So this is your airport layout plan as drawn by the system. So we'll go back and illustrate the land development function of the dynamic analysis tool. So for example, a developer walks in and indicates to you that they're interested in doing some development, perhaps hospitality, and they're looking to lease some space there. They indicate to you that they'd like to have this deployed next year. Do they need airside access? No. maybe a small boutique hotel or something. So they're looking at a couple of acres at a very minimum. So then you push that through the system, and you can take a look and identify then, okay, hospitality, best match is parcel 7 for a lease, highway frontage is along commercial street, Navy Way in this case, topography flat. So you can take a look, and that's one of the sites that comes up as the best match for you. So it's a pretty powerful tool as you're dealing with developers as well. So overall, this is kind of how the dynamic analysis tool works. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to visit our site, dynamic-planning.com, or reach out to us at either our Miami office or our New York office. Thanks.